Chilling new details emerge about the final moments on board the Germanwings flight before it crashed into the Alps. Also, airstrikes pound rebel strongholds in Yemen as Arab leaders agree to create a unified army. And deal or no deal, negotiators are working around the clock to secure an agreement on Iran's nuclear program with just hours to go until a deadline. I'm Lynda Kinkade and this is CNN Newsroom. Thanks for joining us. We're learning more about the last interaction between the captain and co-pilot of the ill-fated Germanwings flight. A tabloid newspaper in Germany has created a timeline of the jet's final moments using leaked audio from the cockpit voice recorder. The report includes frantic words from the captain, who's begging the co-pilot, and I quote, to open the damn door as the plane descended towards the Alps. CNN cannot confirm the Bild report, but new details are emerging about Lubit's mental state. Le Parisien cites sources close to the investigation that he had an anxiety disorder, and it says that in 2010 he received injections of an antipsychotic drug. And as new details come to light about the mental health of the jet's co-pilot, investigators are talking to his family and friends. One former girlfriend has spoken to the German tabloid newspaper Bild, and she shared something Andreas Lubitz said to her last year that disturbed her. CNN spoke with a reporter who interviewed her.
There was one remarkable sentence which she quoted often times and which she also mentioned lots of times 1 year ago. Let me tell you this, it was like, one day I will do something that will change the whole system, then all will know my name and remember it. You know, according to her, he was, during the relationship, quite unhappy with his job situation. He realized slowly that his dreams of becoming a captain of an airplane, getting a long-term contract at Lufthansa, and being responsible for long-distance flights may not come true because of his mental illness, you know.
Now, for more on the investigation, we're going to go to aviation analyst Scott Hamilton, who joins us from Seattle. Scott, we're starting to get a better understanding of the co-pilot's state of mind. There are reports from both the New York Times and a well-known French newspaper about the fact that he may have suffered some sort of psychosomatic illness, as well as some vision problems. In your experience, is it surprising that these conditions were never picked up in the pilot medical tests?
Well, it of course depends on when these conditions started to really emerge with respect to the eyes. That could have emerged since his last physical, so we just don't know the timeline on that. With respect to the mental illnesses, there apparently have been, as reported from his girlfriend and others, that he's made statements, but for somebody who's a layman, were the statements enough to really raise an alarm? The question I would have is that apparently he made some similar statements to flight attendants who certainly should have had an understanding and perhaps raised the alarm, but that's going to be part of the overall investigation.
We know that Lufthansa, the parent company of Germanwings, don't have a policy where crews work with the same people. They don't work with the same team. Do you think that may have helped if he was working with the same people all the time that could have picked up some of these behavioral changes?
It is just really too soon to say about that because, you know, you talk to people who may be psychotic or schizoid and they seem fine in the moment, and then they sort of go off the deep end at a later time. It is just way too soon to draw conclusions on that.
So looking at the cockpit transcript, this is obviously the worst moments of the incident and plays into the greatest fears everyone has about what those final moments may have been like. How unusual is it to see a leak of this kind?
Well, it's certainly not supposed to happen, but we saw with AirAsia's crash landing at San Francisco that information from the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder leaked out early. It's not supposed to happen. The pilots' unions were very upset about that. And we also had some information leak out from Malaysian 370. That's the plane that disappeared into the South Indian Ocean. Unfortunately, these leaks seem to be coming more and more frequently.
Okay, we'll leave it there for now. Scott Hamilton, thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it.